welcome back to the Hit Factor podcast. It has been a little while, and there are lots of things happening in the world of practical shooting. One of them being the Hit Factor Discord, which our guest today is going to get. I'll send you a link to the Discord if you're not already on there. You're not on the Hit Factor Discord, are you?
I'm not.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, I'll send you a
Okay.
link. You can join if you want or not. But Jeff,
Okay.
Jeff has been posting a bunch of training stuff in there. Saul has been posting training stuff in there. I'll put up some videos every once in a while. And then there's a ton of other good stuff in there. So if you want to join the Discord, the Hit Factor Discord, then you have to find a link somewhere. So send someone who you think might have a link, a message, and then they'll send you a link. But that's not what the main point of today is. We have Joon Kim joining us on the podcast. And Joon, you finished 20. So I'll start with Open.
All right.
Open Nationals 2023. Was that your first Nationals in Open?
Oh, yes, that was.
For Open division, right?
By the way, thanks for having me. I'm very happy to be here. We're gonna talk about some good stuff.
Oh yes. Yeah, I am very excited.
Okay.
Yeah, 23 Open Nationals, you were 7th. Is that right? Or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then 2024, you were 8th. And 2024 CO Nationals, you were 13th?
13th overall, and then if you exclude the
Yeah, 10th.
non-nationals, yeah. Hopefully I get a spot to the super squad. We'll see.
I'm pretty sure I have to look at the list again. I'm pretty sure you will because they're going to split the Nationals up so it's not standalone anymore, which is unfortunate.
Well, the thing with the foreign shooters is I think they shoot the European Extreme Open
Right.
every year, but this year that match and the CO Nats is gonna conflict, so I don't know which match they're gonna shoot, but
Yeah.
there's a good chance they won't make it.
Yes, I agree.
hmm
And then you won Area 8 in Open in 23. Is that correct?
Uh, in 23, 7th, and then last year, unfortunately, 8th. Yeah.
Oh, 8. No, Area 8. You were.
Oh, Area 8, I won the match.
Yeah, Area 8
last year or 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago. You beat a bunch of people there. I remember watching the results for that one come in, and that was cool to see.
Yeah, I remember that. Even JJ congratulated me. It was pretty good. I think it worked out.
That's cool. That's cool. And then going further back a little bit, 2022, you went to the World Shoot, and you finished 4th in Production Optics Light.
Yes.
Which is pretty sweet. That's and that'll be the end of that division.
Yeah, I know. It's congrats to Luke Cow because he took the win on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very close. The biggest part about that match for me was the first day. I think if you don't get there early enough, you kind of go through this crash and the adjustment. And first day was just like a disaster. And then I just kind of started recovering. But I think for Luke, he started great first day and then just coasted. So yeah, I think, you're going to be shooting World Shoot this year.
Yeah.
I would say, get there as early as you can, so you can sort of acclimate to that region. And I think that helps a lot.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, the plans to get there like a week before the first day.
Yeah, if you can, and also if you have the ammo, I'm sure they'll sell extra ammo to train. But I think that I don't think going there early is gonna hurt you in any way.
No, no.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be good. I might have more questions for you on that. Are you well? While we're on it, are you gonna go if you get a slot? I mean, I think you're like fifth on the. Are you? Are you the? Yeah, you're high up there on the ranking for the team.
I am, but unfortunately, I didn't make it to the open team.
Yeah,
Uh, I'll still shoot. I'll show up and I'll put some performance. So they
nice.
should be, nervous.
Yeah,
But but yeah, I'll still shoot because that was the goal after the 2022 World Shoot. I wanted to. The goal was to shoot for the team in the open division, but I got close, but sort of fell out. Uh, but that's the goal. I want to shoot open this year, so it's gonna happen.
yeah. Awesome, awesome. Um, okay, I want to get into the questions, like we were talking about before. But if people want to hear you on a podcast, like what I don't know, if they want to hear extra stuff, then there's a couple other podcasts that you've already been on, um,
Yeah.
that kind of ask other questions that I'm not going to ask, and
Okay.
that's so if they can go listen to those Casual Shooter podcast and Manny Talks Shooting, I think.
Yeah. Right.
Or is
I
there?
think yeah, those two. I would say my shooting and the whole journey in shooting evolved quite a bit since those two podcasts.
Yeah,
So I now have like I guess I have a lot to talk about that people want to hear, I think.
yeah,
So um, yeah, they can listen to those podcasts, but I feel like I was just kind of a little shy with sharing my opinions. Um, but they should still be informative.
yeah. I mean, I feel like you. Well, I don't know the timeline of those necessarily, but you have some really really good performances that make you stand out. It, and I think that kind of what you have to say is no matter what it is, it's going to be interesting because of the level of performance that you've been able to kind of produce at matches under pressure and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, that it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, uh, like every top shooter has their own like strengths. Like, um, you know, uh, maybe with like Travis Tomasi, his reload is extremely quick. Things like I'm sure you're aware of that. Bob Vogel, like with his Glock, the things he can do with it.
Mhm.
Like Jacob, he can run into a target and still get two good alphas. Things like that. Like there are things that each shooter uh, is really good at, and I feel like the organization should really kind of hype those up and make top shooters more come out to the spotlight. I think that'll help overall. Wouldn't
Yeah,
you
I
think?
I've always wanted that. You know,
Yeah.
coming when I started paying attention to the game and like looking at you go to USPSA or whatever and you want to see the best performances and you want to hear them talk about what they're doing. You want other people to guess what they're doing. I don't know. Yeah, the conversation around that is anyway. That's what we're doing right now. So that's we're talking about like you and your behavior and and so I want to uh, I want to kind of see. Well, I'm curious. Your what comes to mind when you think of your best performance on a? I'm not going to necessarily say like a match, but per by the stage, best stage performance that you've ever had. Can like is that? Do you have something that comes up?
Yeah, so I guess it's um, okay. Well, maybe we can go back to CO Nats because I got a couple stage wins there, and
Yeah,
we could probably talk about that.
yeah. I would love
Um,
to talk about those stages. Please do.
yeah, yeah. First off, I'm sure a lot of people would agree with this. Um, the stage that you thought you shot like slow or a little bit slower pace than um, your typical aggressive pace, uh, sometimes like those stages, they end up doing pretty well.
Hmm.
Um, and for the two stage wins I had, I wasn't exactly like, oh my God, dude, like I'm gonna go for this. Like I wasn't like all amped up about it. It was more like, oh, I'm gonna focus on each movement that I'm doing, and as long as I execute that, to that, uh, I get a stage win. So for me, um, for stage wins and high performance stages, uh, as long as I can execute to the program that I programmed to the stage, and um, I should be able to, like, I know after I shoot a stage, if I execute it correctly, then I know I got the stage win.
Okay. So how do you then? So is this something that you decide ahead of time, or is it like a feeling that you have prior prior to
Yeah,
the?
yeah. So I didn't include the key point. So a lot of times, when I walk the stages and prepare for them, uh, it's kind of like you're solving a puzzle, right? And certain stages, um, I see uh, certain segments where I could like really save time or get really strong points that most people will just miss out on. So
Okay.
like I know what most people are gonna do. They're gonna like kind of go too fast on this target, drop a couple points there, and then they're gonna you know get to this position and run to that position. But I can like I can kind of see sometimes like in certain segments of the stage. Oh shoot, I could actually take like this unique step to kind of shorten that you know um, the distance, or I'm gonna focus on that target a little bit more. So while everybody's dropping a Charlie on it, I'm gonna get two alpha without losing any time, things like that. But the biggest point that I want to make is on a stage that I'm very confident with, there is that one winning ticket. I call this the winning ticket. Like there's a segment that I know I'm gonna crush, and when I can execute that, then it's game over. Like I got
Uh,
that stage.
oh,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, that
Yeah.
is cool. So it's like, so you may, I mean, so it's not every stage that you walk up to necessarily, and you know that instantly. Do you ever, so then do you ever try and create one on a stage where you're just like, I'm not seeing my my golden ticket here, or
Yeah, right. So
what's that look like?
yeah, not every stage I see the golden ticket or the winning ticket,
Yep.
but on certain stage I see it. Like and that's where I gain the confidence. Of like I'm gonna get that. Like I can get it. I know I can get it. I'm gonna get it. And when I execute it, usually that's a stage win. But it's
Yeah.
not every time I see that winning ticket on every stage. And when I don't see it, I just have to survive it. Like I just have to shoot what they're shooting, without dropping points, trying to make sure my time is similar to theirs. So it's not
Okay.
all the time.
I love that so much. That
Yeah,
because instantly you gain confidence from that because you see whatever it is, whatever strength you
yeah.
have. I mean, and your style is also pretty unique. I think you're really um, I don't know. You take there's not that many people who do like big shuffle steps the way you do either in connecting positions together. Um, I feel like a lot of guys will chop their feet a lot, take a lot of little steps, and you'll like take big steps or like big shuffles to move over. Um, and so, well, what I'm asking is, what are some things that bring up those like that golden ticket for you or whatever it was that you were calling it? What elements in a stage do that for you, or is it
Um,
too much?
that that's a little hard to answer, like just broadly. because
Yeah.
like you kind of want to look at case by case
Yes.
on a stage. We can like pick a stage and kind of break that down. But I think a lot of times, okay, I'll give you like a rough example.
Okay.
On one of the stages from Area 8, uh, it was like a V-shape stage. So you start from one corner, you run down, and then you run to the next corner
Yeah.
in a V pattern fault line. Um, so in that stage, my winning ticket was okay, it's a V shape, just imagine it. I start from here, and I get to the middle, and then I end up on the other side.
Yeah.
After I shoot the middle portion, the distance that I was covering to the last position was pretty far, like pretty great. So my winning ticket in that stage was like, dude, I'm gonna like book there and just really aggressive shoot the two open targets that I was able to see.
Yep.
And while what other shooters are doing is they're not really covering that distance, right? So they would be like they would finish the middle spot position and they would kind of run to the last position and then start engaging. But for me, my winning ticket was I finished the middle position, and as soon as I'm done with the middle position, I just transition and aggressively step forward to the last position,
Yep.
and that really cut a lot of time, and that was the winning ticket for that stage. So things like that.
Okay.
I don't think it's straightforward, but you get the gist.
Have you had that kind of come up maybe in the middle? So if you're later on in the shooting order and you're seeing the stage unfold for other guys that are really good, um, and then that's discovered where you're like, oh, I can shave a ton of time here because I watched other people do it.
Yeah,
Is
I think so. I think so. Like, I think generally you would agree that you know, it's not by a lot, but marginally it's advantageous to kind of see what your peers are doing and what mistakes they're making on, certain targets. Then I can kind of adjust, and uh, basically prevent those mistakes. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. I want to go back to Carry Optics National. So you had two
yeah,
stations. One of them was on. Was one of them on the that four per target at like 20?
yeah.
And
That
okay,
was a cool one. Yeah.
so what? So let's go through that stage then, and on what gave you confidence on that stage, and what was your kind of plan for separating yourself in that on there specifically?
Yeah, so it's a short course, and I love short course. That's
Okay.
why a lot of times, like, when I go to IPSC matches, they have a lot of short courses, like 6 rounds, 12 rounds. Like that's just my thing, and the reason is like in a short number of rounds, and usually it's a lot shorter than long courses, right? And I can really um, put a lot of minute things into it
Mm,
to shave like a little time in there, and it's like a short burst of movement, so you're not like running out of uh, breath or anything like that. It's just something about short courses I really like.
yeah.
But with that stage, so I train shooting on the move quite a bit, and I was pretty confident with so what I did was, I draw the gun, get the two targets, shuffle out, and then as I'm moving forward, I was basically putting 4 shots on that far 25-yard target. The thing
Yeah.
is like I trained that, right? I trained and I practiced it, and the some might say, oh, he risked it, he was shooting on the move, high risk, like he just, he got lucky. But I trained it. I felt confident going into it, doing it. And another thing is like when you're shooting, while you're moving forward, it's not as difficult as you would if you were to be shooting a target while you're moving laterally.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? Yeah. So um, it was a total open target, and I know I can do it. So I just did it without, being like super aggressive, and all the timing sort of worked out. And yeah, that worked out.
Yeah. So that was then the element where you're like, all right, I see. Here's this target. Essentially, there's not really any risk on it. This is not the Virginia count stage. You can have makeups on it if you need to. It's a wide open target. There are no shoots around it. Um, so yeah. So why not? So that's the element in that stage.
Yeah, I mean, it was an open target, and it's not like I was shooting, on the move laterally, in which case I would have just stopped and just, break the shots. But
Hmm.
I was literally walking into that target, and that makes it a little easier.
Yeah.
Um, Also, that stage, I did a breakdown on my Patreon. So if anyone's super curious about the exact thing I did, they can check it out on my Patreon.
Yes. Yes. Jeff can post the links or not in the description.
Okay.
I don't. I don't. Jeff. It's up to Jeff. It's up to Jeff. Jeff will listen to this. Um. Okay. Your other stage win at nationals at Carry Optics? What was that one?
Yeah, it was actually the stage before that one state, the short course. So it was
Okay.
like a two in a row. So it kind of worked out.
Oh,
I was like,
nice.
oh, okay. And that's the thing. It's not like I was going for a stage win. It's
Yep.
more like, you know, because a lot of times what most people should focus on is the precision in the movement, right?
Yeah.
Um, so, I was just focused on each part of what I'm doing, be more precise with what I'm doing with the movement other than shooting. Obviously, I'm also, you know, trying to get, as accurate as possible, but I'm talking about the precision in my movement of my legs, my arms, things like that. So I focus on that as much as possible, and it wasn't it like you can watch the video and it doesn't even look like I was going fast compared to other shooters. But
Yes.
still my time was really good. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is I feel like people should focus on being more consistent and being more precise with their movement rather than, just like trying to push their ability too much. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well,
Yeah.
when you try and push your ability,
Yeah.
and I've experienced this in training, obviously, and is like you just tense up everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm
And
not
then,
saying like, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, it feels fast, and then, but it's not actually any faster.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's, something I'm trying to figure out too. I'm sure you're still learning, but yeah, that stage, I just shot to the pace. I would say everything that I tried to execute, I ended up being able to do it with some minimal mistakes here and there. I took extra shots, and my position was a little off, so I had to like break extra shots. But overall, it was just the just moving precisely, and just being able to execute all of them, like just going down the list, and that just worked out.
So, remind me what that other stage is. Uh, what was that one like? Because that a split bay or was it?
It wasn't. So it was like an unloaded start. So it
Oh
was a
yes,
really awkward position. So
yeah,
because
yeah,
like you had to step in, but you had to lean into that no shoot target and then back out. Remember that? Yeah.
yes, yeah. You had to step backward over a fault line in to a no shoot partial, close one
Yeah.
on, kind of lean to the right. Yeah, yeah. Okay, gotcha. That was like yeah, that had some tight positions, like you were saying. Yeah, so making
Yeah,
sure.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yes.
So tight positions and being more like precise with your body and being able to, like stabilize. Uh, I guess I'm kind of like trailing off, but yeah.
No, no. And so that was so getting back to that. uh, the the winning ticket for you there on that stage
Oh,
specifically.
yeah.
What was that?
Ooh. That's available on Patreon. Okay.
Okay.
I can talk about it, but if anybody's curious, it is available on Patreon. But okay, so I saw other top tier shooters doing, their walkthroughs, and it was just, I'm not gonna name anybody, but it was really annoying for me to see this one shooter,
You can name them.
get.
Name
No, I'm
them.
not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. This one shooter, he'll be shooting this in one position, and then like he'd be like just diligently run to the next position and then shoot the targets, right? But what I saw was like after that position, I take one step and I can start seeing the targets. So there's really no reason to, like try to run in that stage, try to run to the next position because you're just doing one thing. You're not doing two things at a time. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do what I'm good at. Take a big step. I can see the next target, and then take another step, and I see the second target. Take off. So it basically made the um, I was able to just um, omit that next position almost because
Yep.
I got into that position, the first position, engaged two targets, and all I did was just transition to the next target, transition to the last target, and leave that position. But for that shooter, what he did was get to the first position, engage two targets, run to the next position, engage the two targets, and leave the position.
Hmm.
So that's where the difference was, and they lose a lot of time from that. And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
can
And
you
so you
picture
were
it?
yes, and
Yeah.
you were able to
Okay.
pick up time for sure on that connecting. And you're talking about connecting that front position to the that slit port.
Yeah, that was a really because like you really have to get there, right? Or
Hmm.
to see those two targets, it was through the slit, and I was able to my plan was able to capitalize on that stage.
On that, yes, on that part. So that was more of an element. And then there was, I mean, later on in that stage, after you're in that back left corner, there's
Yeah.
another slit port in the middle of the stage, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm referring to. That slit
That
is
one.
the tricky one. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Got it. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the
Yeah.
left, all the way left, there's the couple targets there, and then
Yeah.
to that middle, yeah,
That
that
middle section. So for me, the winning ticket was basically from the going to that middle slit section, and
yeah,
yeah, I was able to shave time there really.
yeah, because there was a lot of people, and I might have even done it as well, where it was like instead of staying back, a lot of people were going forward to that port. They were like going in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
saw a lot of top shooters like just running to that port and just going like pop 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 pop, but like they didn't really run to that port, So I guess
yes,
yeah,
yes. And so yeah, that would be definitely a way to make that more efficient for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Okay, cool. I like it. I'm going to move on to a little bit of training stuff, if you're cool with that. Unless you have anything else, we can jump around though for a ton.
Yeah.
But let's go to training, and I'm going to talk live fire or dry fire here, whatever comes up. But what is the best training sessions that? What are the best training sessions that you've had? And is there one that in particular that comes to mind?
So with that, I, obviously, I'm sure you go through this too. There are days when you have a really crappy session, and then there are days when you're like, oh my God, that was awesome. I loved it. I can't really pinpoint what exactly it is, but hmm, that's a hard question. I think I'm
Okay.
gonna have to kind of get back to you on that. But
Are you are you
yeah,
drive are you training a little bit right now, or is this kind of like a are you in a break right now, or what's that look like?
I'm training. Um, the World Shoot is in September, but there's Carry Optics Nats in June.
Hmm.
Until June, I'm gonna be shooting Carry Optics, and then I'll switch over to Open for the last remaining 3 months to prepare
Yeah.
for a World Shoot. But
Yeah.
I really enjoy shooting Carry Optics, and it
Yes.
saves a lot of money too.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
shooting open, just plus it's just so high maintenance, and sometimes you kind of lose fun from shooting it just because I had a lot of mag issues last year, and yeah, I it's just shooting carry optics. I don't. So here, a lot of people ask me this. Um, I'm not making this up. I can shoot my carry optics setup as fast as I can shoot open gun. The only difference is with an open gun, split might be faster, and then there's a lot of benefits of shooting the open gun. It's got the comp, so at distance, I guess you're a little bit faster with your splits, but
Yep.
transition wise, and when you're shooting like really short distance targets, there's really virtually no difference in my opinion. Um,
Yes.
Maybe someone would say disagree with that, uh, but that's kind of how I see it. Like I've been able to shoot pretty well with my carry optic setup. Um, so I'm just trying to save money and while shooting carry optics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then carry so it's not like obviously carry optics is then helping your open shooting in a sense because you're still shooting, or is it
Yeah.
if
At the
if
end of the day, it's a pistol, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so you're shooting pistols, and it's got an optic on it. I'm sure if I were to stick to open throughout the entire year, it would probably be better marginally.
Yeah.
But I don't like. I feel like they're just the same thing. They're pistols. So uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not like you're shooting a rifle. So yeah,
And it is really fun to shoot a pistol that just well, I don't know what your experience has been, but
yeah.
I mean, I if it works and keeps working and you don't have to do a ton of maintenance, then that's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With my carry optics right now, it just runs. And typically, a carry optic setup doesn't really require maintenance with magazines. Like it doesn't have a
Yeah.
lot of magazine issues. They're factory guns, and I just love that. Like I just pick up the gun and just crush it without having to worry about like things breaking. So I like it. Yeah.
Okay. I want to go to I want to talk about your match attitude. I'm just calling it match attitude, but this is just like your approach to shooting matches. And I'm curious what that has looked like in the past for you. And then I'm curious about your ideas for this year on if you've made changes. And then I'm going to try and be careful here not to ask too many questions at one time. So,
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
what,
So yeah.
so
Go ahead.
yeah, let's start with let's work back. So let's start with this year. What is your match attitude this year, and what does like how different is it from last year, if anything?
So this year is the World Shoot year, so I'm sure everybody's gonna get serious, and just stepping up my training.
Yep.
For sure, I'm gonna increase my training. Uh, it's the World Shoot year. There's no simpler answer than that. So I'm gonna work pretty hard for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like.
As for the attitude, there's a lot of there's a lot of people who've been in the shooting longer than I have, right?
Mm.
Like, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and they might be able to give you a better answer on that. I'm still working on the match attitude part because I can reflect on myself after shooting a match like the CO Nets last year. Um, so with that match, first day I shot good, like just to my ability. There was some mistakes here and there, but it was mostly like okay. I was averaging like 90 some percent, so it was I didn't have complaints. But out of nowhere, second day, um, I was coughing a little bit. Maybe my condition wasn't as good. Every single stage, like basically, like you can look at my I shot day one from stage 1 through 6, day two 7 through whatever, and then day three the last remaining stages.
Yep.
You can see the average each day. Day one was okay, and then day two it was the average was like 75%. Like
Mm.
I just couldn't shoot all day, and and day three, magically, I'm just back to normal and I shot to my ability. So you can see like 1 through 6, it's like, average 90%. Day two, it's just all 70, 75%. And then day three, 90 some percent. I'm still figuring it out. Match attitude, that's hard. But I'm a serious shooter like you.
Yeah.
Uh, I just, I guess if from an outsider's point of view, I can seem a little too serious at times, because I'm really just always focusing on the stage that I'm about to shoot. So there's not a lot of talking. So I'm kind of like a downer. I can look like I'm a downer, but I mean I just shot a match today, local match, and I shot it seriously, and you know I shot it uh, with a smile. Uh,
Yep.
Everybody was having fun, so. Yeah, I don't know what to say about attitude. You
Well,
think you need, yeah,
so I mean, you talked about it this, with this year being a World Shoot year, and your training is, um, like in some ways it's going to be more focused. In some ways it's going to have higher volume. Uh, it whatever it ends up being, and that obviously that ties directly into your then your match attitude as well, where you know whatever gives you that performance that you want, like, which it seems like to me that is, being really good at identifying these. I really like the winning
the
ticket.
winning ticket.
I I've got it now. I was calling it. It's not a golden ticket. No, it's not a
Yeah,
golden ticket. It's a winning ticket.
yes,
Because the golden ticket is not doesn't you don't know if that's going to be a winning ticket or not. This is the winning ticket, and so I mean that that in itself as a match attitude, like I really like that. I don't know.
yeah.
Um,
Maybe you should implement it to your shooting too.
I 100% am going to be,
Yeah,
because I think I hadn't thought about it in that sense, but I love the idea of just, even if it's really hard to finding something on a stage.
yeah. That kind of sets you apart from just a normal stage run that others are doing, and it doesn't hurt. Yeah,
No, no, I feel like, and if it's chosen correctly, if it's chosen correctly and even executed poorly, it still won't hurt very bad because it was a better thing to do. If
yeah,
it's if that risk is there, that if the risk isn't too great, obviously, like if that was, I'm talking about the stage that you won with the 4 per, if that had a no shoot behind it, maybe the risk would be too great, and so then that wouldn't be the thing for that stage. um,
yeah,
but I really like that winning ticket, and it has winning in it, so it's good.
yeah. I don't think I've told this uh, to a lot of people, so I feel like everyone's gonna start saying that phrase now.
They should. They should. I mean,
Okay,
um, yeah. I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot. Um,
okay.
okay. Another one here, and this may all tie in. I don't know. I mean, I think connecting all this together is good. Um, your I again, I don't really know what the proper word to use is. I'm gonna say aggression here, but how do you shoot at the proper aggression? So without going, too wild and without being too careful. Like, how do you control that in a way that is not strictly controlling it in a sense? Like, what is your approach for that? Because and
So
maybe
that
you've had examples of that where you've gone been too careful and been too wild.
Yeah, so that's something I've been thinking about for a while in the recent months. It's the that like finding that ideal, I guess, the match pace, because uh, there are times when I, look at the stage runs that I recorded, and I'm not really satisfied. I can see how, I seem a little slow at times, and I feel like a lot of times I'm kind of used to that safe match pace,
Yeah.
and I'm always trying to see where I can, kind of go over that without having to risk a lot.
Mm,
And I kind of take away from, a lot of, really good shooters and how they move, and I'm trying to kind of ramp up the pace so, it's not because like when I look at my videos, I look pretty sluggish and I don't really like that. So that the match pace thing is also, something I'm trying to learn.
okay, I like the idea of looking at other people's match video
Yeah,
and pulling things from that. I mean, I was doing this the other day
yeah,
with I was watching some Jacob Hetherington videos, which are
yeah,
excellent videos to watch. Um,
yeah. And he posts every match on YouTube, right?
yeah, yeah, everyone should
Yeah,
do that. Everyone should do that. Um, and Jacob does some things that, and he talked about it too when he was on the podcast about like, and what I mean, I think he said even that he's really good at shooting early on entry,
yeah.
and
I noticed that too. Yeah,
so like he thinks of for himself, he thinks that that's a strength. All When you look at his videos, it's obviously a strength,
hmm,
and he does it pretty much everywhere. Uh,
yeah,
and so just watching that is it's very inspiring for training, and it's inspiring because of his results with speed on stages. Um,
yeah. He's impressive. Um, yeah, there are. Yeah, guys, check him out on YouTube because he posts his videos. So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
um, and so I don't. Yeah, I think it's. I mean, it's. I think everyone's always learning that. I mean, even Jacob, who was talking about it, was he's going back and forth between on and trying to figure out what that optimum place is to sit at a match, um, and trying to figure out how to balance speed and accuracy properly.
with his like both like, do you know what he focuses on exactly with transition or I guess well
I
his so his transition speed is his strength, right?
Yeah, yeah, transition speed and um, then I guess that's cutting down time between positions as well. Um,
Mm, okay.
and so I think he's I mean he's shaving a ton of time on shooting earlier in positions than other people are on things that other people are not willing to do that on. And I think it kind of ties into what you were talking about on that 20-yard or 25-yard target that had the 4 per, where it's
Mm,
like a lot of people just were not, like, maybe people are capable of doing it, but they're not willing to do it.
I see. I see.
And yeah, so I don't know. I looking at other people's videos, anybody's that there are elements like that seem like, I don't know. I It seems like a good way to find things, at least to say, oh, I could do that, and then test it out and implement it.
Yeah, I agree. I think like watching, all these guys shoot. I mean, at this level, because like a lot of times you're trying to come up with, new and improved ways. What I'm saying is, I think, at your level, you probably hit plateau, and a lot of times you're just trying to come up with, new things to change yourself.
Yeah,
And I wanted to segue that into what I've been doing recently. So
yeah,
uh, this is gonna sound crazy, okay? But to force myself to kind of get uncomfortable, because like I think that's what you want to do to improve, like get uncomfortable.
yes.
I So don't misunderstand this. I'll explain.
Okay.
I changed my grip. So I'm shooting a CZ Shadow 2 right now for Carry Optics, and oh, first off, when I first started shooting, I started with a Glock, and I was heavily inspired by Bob Vogel. And you're aware of his aggressive like grip, right? Bob Vogel grip.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah. So that's sort of how I've gripped guns for several years, but I just wanted a change, and I wanted to be uncomfortable. So I changed my grip to Eric Graffel's grip, where he hooks his index finger around the trigger guard.
Yep.
Um, and I think it's been about a week or two since I started doing that grip. The first, week or the first few days, I'm shooting like a B class. Like there's no way. Like this just sucks. But after about a week of dry firing and just going out to the range, I got used to it. So I can shoot pretty well with it. And I think after trying his grip for a week, like fully committed, I can kind of understand like how that grip works, how his grip works. So uh let me say this though, like I'm not saying his grip is superior, or or what grip is superior. I'm just saying um I understand the mechanism of his grip because I tried it now, and it kind of makes sense to me.
Okay. And so that is interesting. This was started to make, in a way, to make yourself uncomfortable.
Yeah, so like a lot of times what you probably run into, what I run into is, there's a point where you hit a plateau, and you're just kind of doing the same thing over and over, and you don't seem like you're getting better, and
Mhm.
that's the worst feeling for me. Like when
Yeah.
I'm not getting better, that just sucks, because like as us, like we have to be continuously evolving, right? Get better and better. And when I feel like that's stopped, like that just kills me. And I just
That,
wanted to try some new things, and I think that kind of gives me a different perspective, and hopefully for the better. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
that feeling, the feeling of constantly getting better in some way, is the only reason that I like it's, or not necessarily the only reason, but it's the base reason that I do this.
yeah.
like if that did not exist, then I wouldn't have started in the first place. Um,
I see. Okay.
because of how well, or like when you first start out, you're everything's new and
Yeah.
you're better really, really, really quick. Um, and it's very exciting. And so yeah, keeping it very exciting uh, in whatever way, yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, dude, it just gets tougher and tougher, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There is like you have to yeah then work just as hard uh, in very different conditions where you're not
Yeah.
seeing um, you're not seeing a draw go from like a 2.5 second to 1.5 second. You're like, whoa, that's so quick. I did that in a day. You're like, that's like you're not getting that improvement anymore. Um,
Yeah, and as a lot of times I wonder, and I feel like this is the way though too. Uh, like the only way to sort of improve, marginally and constantly improve at your level and other top shooters level is to literally just drill it out every single day, just do it every single day and just like punch it in your brain. And uh, um, if you don't have new things to work on, you just have to just repeatedly do it. And
yeah,
I think at certain point, that's just what you have to do. Like you don't like what I'm saying is like you don't have to like search for new things. You just have to keep doing it every single day, and to get better marginally and stay at the level.
yeah. And then if you're like, I don't know, I've heard a lot of people talk about where, I mean, I've changed. I think I changed my grip
Oh, you did?
when I started shooting the Walthers.
Oh, okay.
But
That
it
was a while
wasn't.
ago.
Yeah, well, only like 2 years ago. I think I started 2 years ago.
Okay.
Um, but it wasn't because of the gun being different. It was because I needed something different, and it was already so like switching guns already felt uncomfortable, and so then I think that that was a new thing where I was just like, I will switch my grip up, and I think that my grip it was yeah. Anyway, there was different. That was one sense, but then yeah, there's been other times where I've made changes in
Yeah.
some kind of way just because I wanted to make things different.
Yeah. I mean, I really think, um, obviously you don't want to change your gun or platform, you know, uh, quarterly, but I think if you shoot something for a year, you should kind of like, explore other platforms, and exploring other platforms, shooting other guns actually makes you better. Just doing that makes you a better shooter.
Yeah, and maybe it even makes you a better learner.
Hmm.
Uh, I I mean, where you figure out things on how to learn more efficiently. Um, maybe
By switching to a different
by
platform.
switching, yeah,
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
practicing with something else, or like
Yeah.
even learning
I
something.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's mainly the reason why I'm trying this new grip, just to, see things from a different perspective without having to change the gun. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done then a decent amount of live fire with that? And like, do you feel like that you have a gain, like a like more endurance live fire wise?
So I can comfortably shoot the way I shot with my old grip, but after shooting a match with the new grip, I realized that not only I have to know how to grip the gun the new way from draw, but from basically every scenario. So in this one stage I shot in the local match, it was like hands on mark, not just a standing, still with hands relaxed. It was hands on mark, right? So it's slightly different, right? So when I started the stage, I got the gun out and I went right back to my old grip. So like basically now I have to try every scenario to burn in the new grip in. So that's the challenge.
That's interesting. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Be
Even hands above start, I'm going right back to the old grip. Yeah.
yeah, because that connection like that, that connection to the skill that you learned is made on every start position.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not like yeah. I mean, it's not like you could do low ready starts and then with your new grip that you want, and then think that you're going to get it every time.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I'm not sure if this is the right answer, but with that new grip, I'm still experimenting, so it's not, a rock solid evidence, but I can kind of see that it shoots a little better at distance with a new grip, and that's kind of an interesting observation that I made. But
That is
but I could be just making things up in my head. So
well. Do you mean
yeah,
is it visually more? I don't even want to say words. Um, that I don't want to put words in your mouth. Uh, it's something visual at distance that you're seeing that you like more.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
At least I think that way. But I think I just have to shoot more to get more data. But
yeah,
at distance, I kind of like the way the dot moves.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but I don't want to mislead anyone by saying that. But just
No.
don't take it, yeah, too seriously. Yeah,
Well, I mean, if you like, yeah, if you like the way something is, um, that's not a bad reason to do it. Um, okay, I want to talk a little bit about, and then, well, I want to talk about the series that you've been putting up on your Instagram.
yeah,
Um, you did. For some reason I wrote them down all out of order, but I'm gonna
yeah.
read them. I'm gonna try to read them in order, at least for right now. Apparently, you have two more videos that who knows? It's a mystery. You did your series is like 7 things that you wish you had done differently, right?
Yeah, when I first started. So like
When you
this is a series I made that I genuinely feel about how I would have done differently. Like I would have literally taken these 7 things and I would have done that when I first started. Because
yeah
um, if I had done this, I would have saved a lot of time. Um, it would have taken me a lot shorter to achieve what I've accomplished.
yeah, and
Yeah,
so I find them very it's very
agreeable.
good,
Yeah.
and relatable. Yeah, very good and relatable. I wish more people um, did videos like that. I'm not going to do them, but
Yeah. Yeah, I
but
know it's a lot of time, and, it's a lot of effort to put out a video, even something like that. Uh,
yeah.
but um, but
So
yeah,
the first one, which got some people confused, but
yeah,
it's Instagram's fault. It's not your fault. Um,
yeah. I
was
mean, also I should have known how to upload better. That would have probably cleared a lot of miss. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it shouldn't be as difficult as they make it. Anyway,
yeah,
so the first one was to get a get a shadow 2 and put a dot on it. And then
yes.
I'm adding this thing at the end that Glocks are bad and you should never start with one. um,
Yeah,
it, so yeah, briefly let's talk about that one.
yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Why would you want to get a shadow 2 at the beginning? And why would that help you?
Okay, so before I start, after I posted that video, I did get a lot of positive response. So there's a lot of people in the ABC level shooters classes of shooters that said like, dude, like you know, changing to CZ from some polymer guns really helps me, see dots better, things like that. So this is like kind of evidence based, like people actually benefit.
Yeah,
Um, And yeah, my Instagram was flooded with like a positive response, so that's good. Um, and So okay, to start off, I started shooting with a Glock 34, just bone stock, like no trigger job, just nothing on it, 17-pound recoil spring, just stock Glock. Um, and I stuck to that for like the longest time. Like for a whole year, I didn't change anything. I was just shooting production Glock 34. Um, and the thing with a polymer gun is obviously it's less forgiving if you're, making mistakes. It's a lot more punishing than a gun that's a little heavier, that is more balanced, and
Agree.
that shoots, a lot better. Like you have to agree, CZ Shadow 2 is a heavy gun that probably shoots a lot better for, people who are just starting out.
Yes.
And I remember you even messaged me after posting that video. You said like, yes, I like, um, you know, starting with a metal gun probably would have saved me time in,
Yeah.
getting better. So when I first started out, I started with a Glock, and there was a master class shooter who was really good locally, grandmaster shooter who was really good locally, and they all gave me that same advice. Hey, like, try a metal gun. It'll kind of allow you to see what you need to see to kind of get your fundamentals in with the transition and dot movement, which is really important. And I just kind of like, I said like, nah, dude, like bone stock Glock,
Like
that's all I need.
I
So
got you. I got
yeah,
my Bob Vogel grip. I don't need a metal gun.
that's what I'm saying. Like that's what most starters think. Like, hey, dude, like the Glock is all I need. But that's just because my ego was so high with a Glock, and a
Mhm.
lot of people who start with a Glock kind of have the same ego, and it's just really me telling myself, hey, I should have started with a Glock, with a CZ. Um, so let me give you something that I learned from when I first started shooting. Um, so I started shooting, and I was shooting production Glock, and then I was shooting limited Glock, because I was inspired by Bob Vogel. And when I went to the first nationals ever, I actually saw Bob Vogel shooting his limited gun.
Mhm.
So this is where my uh, preconception was kind of shattered. Because like a lot of people online that say, hey, like, use stock Glock, that's all you need, things like that. But the thing is like I tried his gun. I was like, hey, can I just like feel, your gun, like see what you got? So he's super chill about it. So we walk up to the safety table, and his trigger was so light, impossibly light,
Mhm.
that I couldn't even prep the trigger. So it was just like I wouldn't I couldn't even prep the trigger.
Yeah.
So and his gun was very heavy. He put a lot of weight into it. He did a lot of things to it to make it run better and smoother. So that kind of gave me I guess, like a light bulb moment. Like, dude, like even Vogel, who's amazing with his Glock, stock Glock for his carry or whatever, he does things to make his gun run better. Uh, so going back to the Shadow 2, like Shadow 2 is kind of designed for competition, and out of the box, the trigger's decent, gun is really well balanced. So it's kind of ready to go for you if you're starting out. So that was the point of me making the first episode of that series.
Yeah. And I had messaged you because and I think thinking about it more now. I mean, it it cuts out the stuff like you said. It cuts out elements of shooting that are difficult, and it makes them easier. And then you
Yeah,
can focus on playing the game and learning the game as
yeah,
like what strategies give you a good score.
Yeah,
And
because like the first year when I was using the Glock, um, I forgot to mention this. I would just dwell so much on the grip part that that's that's all I was focusing on, right?
oh yeah,
Like how to grip the gun, and that's how I wasted all the time when I could have done, focused on other things that would have made me better faster.
yeah. I mean, I think I did the same thing. I mean, I
Yeah,
started shooting Glocks because I saw one specific video of Bob Vogel talking about his grip, and it's not
yeah,
like I'm mad at Bob Vogel about it, but kind of am, you know. Uh, but so I saw that, and I was shooting. I
yeah,
shot a Glock for. I mean, I only switched from Glocks like 3 years ago, 2 years ago,
yeah,
uh, and for I remember for the first couple of years it was very much figuring out like how can I grip this well, and um, also then messing around with how can I get this trigger to be better,
yeah.
uh, and
It,
so yeah, it ultimately like that I think. But then to get back to this other thing of like if you've gotten really good, then you can shoot whatever you want essentially, and it
yeah.
won't
I mean,
hurt you that much.
yeah, but the point is, I mean, okay, I'll give you an analogy, right? If you were to, let's say, start doing bench press and your goal is to hit 300 pounds, like let's say you want to bench 300 pounds. I don't know how much you can bench, uh, but let's say that's the goal.
Yep.
Do you start with 300 pounds, or do you, start with a lighter weight and work your way up?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the same concept for me. Like you start with a softer, more forgiving gun with the metal gun to get you in, get you all, uh, used to the fundamentals of, aiming and transitioning, dot movement, things like that.
Yep.
And then it's not too late to switch to something that's more punishing, which is shooting a Glock. So I feel like that's a good analogy to
It's a
explain to people.
great analogy. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Um, okay, I want to go through the other ones here.
Yeah.
So number two was listen to GMs, like
Oh
listen
yeah.
to
Yeah.
grandmasters.
Yeah.
Uh, and like some people don't, you don't always, a lot of people, well, I'm thinking of myself in particular. There wasn't that many GMs around when I started up here. There was one, and then he moved to Texas. Oh
Okay.
well. But, but I remember a couple things, and the biggest one, because I started from concealment, um, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just do this from concealment, and he was like, hey, you should just like get a regular rig and like do it like normal,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So that was what I had thought of first, with that, but there are so many other reasons to listen to GMs. And obviously we're two GMs telling people to listen to GMs, so it
So
but
yeah, so like from teaching privately, I see the pattern, and including myself. No matter what you start uh, the competition with, like let's say this one guy started because like, oh, I want to be you know just proficient so I can defend myself with it, and then there's a lot of cops who shoot the local matches so that they can be better shooters and apply that to their duty, to their job. It doesn't matter what your uh, initial purpose is for competition. The more serious you get with competition, the goal ends up being the same. Like there's a point that like it's all just a phase. Like you start with a certain goal, but then as you stick around with competition, the goal basically ends up being the same thing, which is being great at the sport and winning matches, right?
yeah, yeah. I You bring up that
Yeah,
point. frequently through your video series where it's you're in a competition, you're looking at the score at the end, and you want to do well
Yeah,
because like you bring that over and over again. And part of this, so I'm going to bring up now. The third point is go to nationals.
yeah.
Uh, like, and I've been telling people that where they're like, I don't know, like I don't know if I should go. I'm like, just go. It's I don't know. I mean, I get it. Yeah, I don't know. You do a great job of explaining it in your series.
Thanks.
Of you bring up the financial thing, and it's not even that it's not that crazy. And that same person will still then spend triple that in the next 3 years, and it won't like the amount of information that you get from going to nationals as far as
Is
how good
invaluable.
people are, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean so much.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between, shooting a match that big like nationals versus, just some local match, right?
Yeah,
Like the focus and the seriousness, they're just so different. And by spectating what the higher level shooters do at nationals, you can then really realize, oh, okay, this is what I really need to do to win matches.
yeah.
So that was the point. But to go back really quickly to the listen to GM part,
Go for it.
I wanted to kind of add a story. Um,
Please do.
First off, like, yeah, I should have listened to the GMs and master. It took me just so long to realize what they were trying to, to tell me. But um, there was one police friend that I used to shoot with, and his goal was for shooting the competition was to be proficient in shooting enough to be able to apply that uh, to his job. But as he got more serious into the competition, he he started looking into things that would help him get better in competition, and that was him switching from Glock to CZ. And after he had successfully switched, because a lot of people fail. A lot of people like would try CZ and then be like, "Oh, this like feels like really weird." Coming from Glock to CZ, it feels weird to switch to
Mhm.
a metal gun. So he spent the whole month, getting used to it, and after he got used to it, he was basically swearing by it, dude. Just switch. And even then, I didn't even listen to him. I was like, "Nah, I'm good with my Glock, dude." But that's why I'm making all this, the episodes, because I was that super stubborn guy that did not listen to anyone, and yeah. But let's jump back to what was it? What was the
yeah,
going to nationals?
we're on going to nationals right now. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Let's. Sorry about that.
No, that's
Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
yeah.
go to.
Nationals. Go ahead.
Um, I feel like yeah, we I'm gonna get through the rest of these too.
Okay.
Number 4, which is take classes. Is that did I get that right? Or what?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
What do
it's
you
fine if
what?
you.
Well, no. What did you? Well, because I went back through and just pulled whatever first came up. What do you mean by this one?
It's pretty straightforward. There's a lot of people, at the local level who are sort of, you know, thinking about taking classes, but their short answer is, oh, it's like kind of too expensive. I
Okay.
need to save up for it. Like it's not really their priority, but those are the same people that have shot pretty much exactly the same like since 4 year like pre-COVID. So
Yeah.
like they show up to all these local matches, but shoot exactly the same as they did 4 years ago. Like at that point, what's your goal? Are you just trying to have fun? But this is competition. Don't you want to get better? And to get better, you should seek some help. And taking classes is one of them. So the point was, uh, classes aren't expensive.
Yeah.
Your time is. So take
Okay.
classes. Yeah.
Yes. I like it. I like it. And probably especially if you're newer. I mean,
Yeah.
or like, no, I shouldn't say newer, especially if you have not been getting better at all for a long time.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, do something different if you're not getting better. Do something different.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Uh, and then five, which is we're at five right now. You posted five the day of that we're recording. This won't be posted for another little bit, but um, which is I'm gonna uh, I pulled out this. I wrote it down.
Okay.
You said when the body is not in good condition, the mind cannot be.
Yeah. I mean, like, this is a mind game, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, like, if you do, when you're not working out, like, okay, everybody has full-time job, and a lot of times, you're just kind of stuck in an office and you're not really moving around. You can't expect to shoot remotely decently um, going into the weekend shooting a local match. Like if you don't work out and shoot a local match, you have to fully expect that you're gonna just crash that match. That's uh, in a harsh way that I'm putting it, but
it's true.
that's how it is. Like this is a sport. Like this is a sport that requires strength and agility, and just there's a lot of people who enjoy this as a hobby, and that's totally fine. But it is still a sport like jujitsu or wrestling. Obviously, those guys they have to work out a lot harder. But I just want people to see it as a sport, and so they should really do the prerequisites, which is getting it, being in good shape, and also jumping to the mind part. You have to be in good physical shape to have a healthy mind.
No, it's true. It's
Yeah,
true. I didn't. Um, well, there's a couple things, but you had mentioned the piece um, on just balance in the
yeah,
position that you have. Like if you've been training and if you're conditioned in some kind of way, then you have so much more balance in a shooting position that you're, or at least this is how I interpreted it, that you're in better condition to get out of that position and set up and be balanced for another position.
yeah.
Um,
Because like even this local match, there's a lot of hard lean positions, a lot of tight positions. Just getting in and out of those positions, you have to be like your lower body has to be like solid. Otherwise, you
yeah,
would just kind of fall out of the fault line, right?
yeah.
Um, yeah, I feel like I'm just saying the obvious, stating the
No, but
obvious.
that's yeah, that is, and we see it. You'll see it at local matches where you pick out people who maybe could be doing
A lot
things
better,
that we
yeah,
them.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. I really liked that one, and I liked how it. Yeah, uh, I hadn't been working out consistently like my entire time shooting.
yeah,
But when I started to,
yeah,
then I noticed that connection to the mind
yeah,
way more.
yeah,
Um, because I don't know how it works with science and everything like that, but I'm sure there's a connection there. Uh, just with yeah, there's I'm not going to attempt to explain anything, but there definitely is a difference.
yeah. Right. I hope us discussing this, eventually inspire others to really, start and keep their exercises, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Uh, so while we're on that, just people will have to. I'm going to try to get you after we stop recording to tell me what the two next
Yeah.
ones are, but um, you may not want to tell me. People will have to follow you to get the rest of the videos. Um,
Yeah.
uh, because they're good. They're good, and people should go back and watch them because you throw in a bunch of extra stuff that's just in there. But
Yeah.
back to this one really quick. What do you do usually for a workout? And you don't have to be specific, and probably doesn't. You know,
Yeah.
what
So
do you do?
actually, that's a great question. First off, working out for shooting, it can be kind of tricky, you know. But so there's a lot of people who might think, shooting nine minor is like nothing. It's just, it, oh, it doesn't, there's no recoil at all. Like that's not really the case. Like it still has recoil, obviously it's not major, you're not shooting major, but it still has recoil and you have to have good, upper body strength to hone that, manage that recoil. So I do work out to do that, and I also do like general upper body workouts. So um, I do a ton of free weight workouts like pull ups,
Yeah,
push ups. Um, I do like just lunges, and I do squats. Um, and then I have a cable machine at home, and I would do things that I like the motion. I would try to repeat the do the motion that is done when you're doing transitions. So like I would try to like put weights and pull the cable, doing that transition motion, things like that.
okay,
And I would try to work out my shoulders.
nice,
Oh,
nice.
also recently I added this to my training. Is it's a bucket of rice. I would
Yeah.
I would I would put my hands in it, and then I try to work out my wrist by rotating it.
Oh, I
That's
like it.
been yeah,
Is it
it's good
good?
stuff.
Okay,
Uh
yeah.
yeah, I've been doing it almost every day. But I don't have massive arms, so I'm just trying to do things to just help marginally, and I think it helps. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like it. So Jeff has been posting about that because
Yeah.
Jeff's been doing the rice bucket thing for a little while now too.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to talk to him about it, but we have I don't know. Anyway, he needs to talk more about that in the next time he records. Um, but uh, yeah, okay, I like it. Yeah, push ups and pull ups are what I've been. That was the first thing that came in to my training.
Yep.
And then early on, I did I did stuff to try and yeah, it was with the wrists so that I would prevent injury with that because if I ever did get a twinge, it was in the wrist um,
Yeah.
from training, and so yeah, doing like wrist curls and things like that is what I was doing, and then over the past like year and a half, I started running um,
Does it
because
help?
I I think it helps more for the mind part.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, speaking of the that,
yeah.
do you still do ice bath?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yes.
wow, dude. Is it okay? Is it every day?
Every day. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I did. So when I was trying it out, I messaged you a while ago.
Yeah.
I did it for 30 days straight,
Nice.
and I can definitely say, confidently say that it helped me mentally. But I was doing it every morning, and I was getting kind of sick. So I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh man, it's like taking a lot of calories out. So if you're trying to lose weight, I think it helps too. But I stopped doing it, and also because I couldn't bother cleaning the tub too, because that's a lot of work too. But
Yeah.
I do want to get back into
No,
it.
you need a good system with it, and then yeah, like as
Yeah.
far I mean, I've learned a lot because it's been almost it's going to be 3 years now where I've been doing it like every day,
Wow.
and
Impressive.
I go all like 100% off of feel now, so I don't start a timer when I go in, um, and if I'm feeling sick, then I just I just dip in and out. I don't sit in it.
Also, you don't time it.
I don't time it anymore.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
and then if I'm feeling like strong, I'll sit in. But my rule is that I get out when I feel like I could stay in for longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You
so
reach that point.
yeah, so that sometimes maybe some days it's like 30 seconds, and maybe some days it's 3 minutes.
I see.
Uh,
I see.
and so it's just all based off of feel.
I
Uh,
see. Yeah.
Also,
Because
it's
yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I do it first thing in the morning so that because I want to dry fire first thing in the morning because it's a good time for me to dry fire. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
but my but I have the morning, fogginess in my eyes,
Yeah.
and so if I go into the ice bath, then that fogginess disappears, um,
Okay.
and so then I can kind of be awake and focused for my dry fire. Uh,
Okay. Real quick though, I don't
yeah.
have a scientific evidence to back this up,
Okay.
but I really think dry firing in the morning helps a ton,
Mm.
as opposed to doing it at night before bed.
Oh yes, I would take morning. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just for me. I'm a morning person, and I am the I'm most active when when I just wake up. That's and I want to believe that that's when my brain is at its peak state, and
Yeah.
I want to take advantage of that. So that's why I think doing it in the morning is the best.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's different in some kind of capacity. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've always liked morning, and then like a second session in the day ideally is before noon. Um,
Okay.
and
Oh,
then
nice. Twice a day, huh?
yeah, and then but usually like at nighttime, like if I need to squeeze a session in, then I will. But it's not. It doesn't have the same feel as earlier in the day. Yeah,
Okay. Wow. That's inspiring. I'm gonna I'm gonna try that.
that second session is good, man. It
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
um,
I'm gonna ask one more question.
sure.
Uh, so earlier in the podcast, you asked about the match attitude,
Yeah.
right? Can you kind of talk to me about your match attitude then?
Mm. I I feel like I want to. I don't. I'm not ready to say it on a recording, but I will. I'll talk to you about it after. And people can be mad about that or whatever. But some people already know. But I want to
I
talk to
see.
you about it after. What
Okay,
I
sounds good.
want to at least with the change that I've made.
Okay,
Um,
okay,
and I feel
sounds good.
that's the only valuable part is the change that I've made for this year. Um,
Ooh, I want to hear it.
yeah. So, um, I think. I mean, we've been going. Yeah, this has been going for like an hour and a half. I feel
Yeah.
we talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think so. Mostly focused on like the discipline and training part. I do have topics for future,
Yeah,
but I'll save that for later. Yeah.
I feel like I know Jeff and Jeremy after they listen to this are gonna be like, yeah, we gotta have June back on, and then someone else. So what's interesting is if different people, because there's I don't know, there's a few people who record the Hit Factor podcast now, and different people having different conversations with uh, the same people, and so that becomes
Eh,
really. Uh,
yeah.
but anyway, yeah, I think
So
we'll.
you mean like things get redundant? Is that what you're saying?
N- no, what I'm saying is you should come back on at some point, and
Oh,
it
with
can
different people.
it'll be like yeah, it would be somebody else
Yeah.
on with you. I mean, I want to be there too, but I won't. I'll talk less. I'll just listen, um, or whatever. Uh, yeah, I know we could definitely do this one for like 3 hours, and that would be no problem. But
All
I'm on
right.
I'm on East Coast time, and it's my bedtime, like an hour and a half
Yeah.
ago.
So you're like an early bird too, or you're a morning
Yeah,
person.
yeah. I go to bed. I go to bed really early, and then I get up really early. Yeah, yeah.
That's excellent. I'm the same way, except my wife sleeps late, so it kind of It's a personal thing, but
Okay. Yeah, you
yeah,
guys are on different
yeah.
situation. Um, all right. Hit Factor people should join the Discord somehow. Um,
All right.
and I think I struggled with it in the last podcast I did, but I don't have an outro. Do you have any good outros, like ending things?
I have a couple like shout outs.
Oh, yeah, do it.
All right, Team Summit City.
Oh, of course, of
Yeah.
course. Tony,
All
Summit
right.
City.
Yes. Just
Hashtag
wanted
Cody
to.
Bullet
Yes. Just wanted
135.
to. Yeah. Just wanted to do a shout out to Tony at Summit City Bullets. Um, awesome bullets. I want to make a quick point here. So when I started shooting, I started with copper plated bullets. Those are kind of the cheaper version of jacketed,
Yeah.
and I stuck with it for years until Tony and I got together. Um, for a good several months, I was very doubtful of the coated bullets, so I didn't really trust it. But there was a point when I realized, okay, like this is pretty accurate. Like it's actually really accurate. So coated bullet, I don't know how others perform, but Summit City bullets, excellent accuracy. I love it. It works well for me now. Um, I wish others would use it too, because I like it and it works for me, and it should work for others too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And then one more shout out is I do have I make some stuff online,
Okay.
and they're available on eBay. So this one is a 2011 a single piece 2011 magazine loader. Kind of like when you buy a Glock, it comes with like a little loader, but this
Yeah.
is for 2011. Um, it's pretty nice. It's pretty rugged. I used it for CZ and 2011. That's available on eBay. And this is I use Trijicon
Oh
um,
yeah.
SRO. This is a battery cap tool. And then just one more thing. This is a 170 millimeter uh, magazine gauge.
There
Uh,
you go.
yeah, they're available on my eBay. So if you want to stop by,
Okay.
yeah.
I am gonna get one of those Trijicon battery cap tools.
Yeah, I'll give it to you next time I see you. I
Oh,
hand these out when I go to matches. So
oh, sweet. You mean that I don't have to use a screwdriver and then like mar up my thing?
yes, yes, perfect.
What if my battery cap's so trashed that your tool won't even work? It's a possibility.
It'll work because like this geometry is like perfectly fits. It's super snug. So
Okay.
even if it's like all banged up, it should work.
Okay. It's been too long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sweet. All right. Definitely need one of those.
All right.
Um. All right.
Dude,
I like.
all right. Thanks for having me. Go ahead.
No. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. Yeah. Some really good stuff. I'm going to re-listen to some of these sections where I was thinking while you were talking and wasn't listening to what you were saying, as it happens
Yeah.
when you.
We all do that.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, thank you, June. I appreciate it. You and I are shooting Area 1 in June,
Yeah, I'm excited, dude.
early
Let's
June.
go. Let's go.
Let's do it. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Oh, Jay, real quick
yeah,
though.
go for it.
You should try like since you're shooting World Shoot this year, I I would highly suggest that you should shoot an IPSC match like in Europe. If you can make it, obviously, if time allows. I
I
think
know,
that'll yeah.
I know. I would. Yes, I
This is your
really want
prime,
to.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that I really want to try and figure that out somehow. I don't know if it's gonna work, but and it makes me want to. It makes me wish that I would have thought about it more in the past. Like we were gonna do, what was it? Maybe it was 23 that we were gonna do the Extreme Euro Open
Yeah, in Czech Republic.
in Czech Republic, and then it was like
Yeah,
right over Carry Optics Nationals. I was like,
yeah,
and I kind of like it would have made sense then to do that
yeah,
instead of Carry Optics Nationals in
yeah.
23.
Actually, I was the same because the last 2 years I almost shot that match, but I decided against it and ended up shooting CO Nats. But yeah, I've always been trying to go there because
Yeah.
people want to see me shoot there.
You have gone to a few. I meant to ask you earlier, but you've been to some matches outside of the U.S. as well, other than the World Shoot, um,
Yeah.
right? A
Yeah.
few.
Not great, but more to come this year and after. So
Sweet.
I'll yeah, you'll see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Um, all right. Well, I'll leave it there. Everyone should go look at your
Yep.
serious videos on your Instagram, and all the other stuff. And we'll leave it there. I'll stop
Yeah.
recording.
You just don't know how to end.
I don't know how to end it. Jeff needs to come up with a an outro for me so that I don't have to think of one. Anyway,
Okay.
um, thank you, June.
All
We're
right.
out.
All right. Bye.